So, if you're the CEO of a coding bootcamp, I have something important to say to you. Have you basically just been stuck at the same level of annual enrollments for years, basically? Right? You've been stuck at the same level, serving the same amount of people, whether that be about 100, 200 people, new students per year. Are you tired of seeing the same Goliaths in this industry, the same major dominant players in this bootcamp industry continue year after year to eat up all of the market share? And you know who I'm talking about. I won't name names, but you know exactly who I'm talking about. Are you tired of seeing them dominate while they're serving 1,000 or 700, 1,000, 5,000 students every single year? You've been stuck in the same place and position, serving about 100 to 200 students per year for a long time. Are you tired of seeing brand new competitors just quickly pop up out of nowhere and just kill it in terms of the growth of their company, in terms of the growth of their brand, the recognition in this industry, the results that they're getting? And you see them and it makes you frustrated because you know the quality of your program is just as good, if not better, than what they're offering. But for some reason, you're not growing at the same rate that they are. So in this video, I'm going to give you the brutal truth, right? The brutal truth, okay? The reason that you're having trouble growing your enrollments is because your marketing and sales strategy kind of sucks. It's pretty rookie level, okay? And I'm not saying that to be sensational. I'm not saying that to troll. I'm saying that to be as direct and as honest as I possibly can. And through the rest of this video, I'm going to show you clear examples of what not to do in terms of your acquisition strategy. Okay, many people attempt to just copy what the dominant players in this industry are doing without understanding that these companies like General Assembly have hundreds of millions of dollars, the deepest of deep pockets, to be able to spend money online, and maybe most of the time not in a profitable way. And they try to copy their strategy and end up just throwing money down the drain. They end up without a profitable acquisition strategy so that they can grow their boot camp, right? So it makes it impossible for you to grow from that 100 to 200 range to the 400 plus range of students served per year. So I want to be clear about this. So how do you know if your acquisition strategy kind of sucks? There are a few symptoms of a poor customer acquisition strategy, and I'm going to outline those for you right now. So the number one symptom is that you don't have a paid acquisition strategy, meaning that you cannot pay to acquire a customer online profitably. So before I jump into why that's so important, first of all, I want to say that SEO or search engine optimization, which is just meanings creating content using optimized keywords so that people can find you in Google or in Bing. Not that anybody uses Bing, but creating SEO it's a great long-term asset for your business, meaning that by creating content, you'll be able to consistently generate traffic to your site. And if you have your site set up in the proper way, that traffic will be able to be converted into applications and thus students for your bootcamp. The problem with SEO and relying upon SEO alone or referrals or non-paid acquisition strategies, word of mouth, the problem with that is, number one, SEO does not scale up. Meaning that with paid acquisition, if you're using, let's say, a paid strategy with YouTube advertising or Facebook advertising or sometimes even AdWords, with paid acquisition, you can literally, if it's profitable and it's working, if you have your funnel optimized and set up in the proper way, you can literally double the amount of applications that you're getting overnight by just typing in a number inside the ad platform, increasing the budget, which would increase the number of clicks, increase the number of leads, which would increase the number of sales conversations and applications and thus enrollments, if you know what you're doing. Okay, if you don't know what you're doing, it's just going to create a mess, right? But SEO is really a long game. You can't just type in a number in an ad platform and get more traffic and get more students and get more enrollments. It takes months and years to just slowly ramp up and get more reach and get more traffic and get more enrollments. So that's the number one problem. It doesn't scale. And number two is that you don't control organic search traffic. You don't control Google. Google literally changes their algorithm several times per day. And they make changes, major changes in their algorithm probably once a year. So the reality is that if you're relying upon SEO to get the majority of your new students, a Google slap is inevitable. And a Google slap is just meaning that there's a day that's coming when you're going to lose literally half of your traffic overnight, and thus half of your enrollments overnight. Google changes, for whatever reason, the way that they index sites and how they rank the order of sites, and it becomes the difference of you and you being on the first page of Google and the second page of Google. That literally destroys your business overnight. It could, if this is what you're relying upon. Okay? And when you have a team that's relying upon you to make payroll, when you have a lease that needs to be paid, when you have business loans that you need to pay back, relying upon SEO is like relying upon sitting on a one-legged stool. A one-legged stool is useless. You need at least 3 legs for paid acquisition, 3 legs of traffic to build a stable acquisition funnel for yourself. Okay? 3 traffic sources. So that's really it. If you don't have a paid acquisition strategy, you're really putting yourself in a precarious situation. Number 2 is you're using the same Me Too acquisition strategy as literally hundreds of other boot camps in this industry. And this is what pains me the most, okay? So number 1, it pains me the most, but in the reality, there is so much opportunity in this industry if you know how to market correctly. And it's going to sound arrogant of me to say, but 99% of companies in this industry are marketing poorly in an amateurish way. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean in a second. Okay, everyone in this industry uses the same boring promise and the same boring copy. Okay, they're saying the same things to try to attract new students. So they're saying you can become a web developer in 12 weeks. Everyone says that. Or you can our students have an average starting salary of $70,000 per year. Or our graduates get jobs at Google and Facebook and Microsoft. Everyone in this industry is saying that exact same thing. Okay, so what that means is when people see your boot camp and they finally click on your SEO copy or your search and optimized content that you created, and they hear that message, but they see General Assembly with that same message. They see Lambda School with that same message. They see literally 100 other boot camps with that same message. What that means is it creates problems for you because you don't have the same brand authority as they do. So what you need to do is do something different if you want to be able to compete with the Goliaths, okay? And I'm going to show you here in a second. There's no better way than to show you what I'm talking about than to jump into Google. I typed in Google best coding boot camp. So that's probably a common phrase that potential students who are looking to enroll in a coding boot camp will search on Google. And these are the results that come from that search. So as you can see, these are all advertisements. The first 4 results are advertisements. I click these advertisements, open them up in new tabs, but you can see from the copy here, they're all saying variations of the same exact thing. Okay, so your positioning is really just more of the same, right? And what this means is that if you're trying to compete on a site like AdWords or Google AdWords, you're using a platform rather like Google AdWords or YouTube or really anywhere else, and you're trying to pay money to acquire students, that means that you're going to get dramatically lower click-through rates. Click-through rates meaning the number of people who view this advertisement, an impression, a significantly lower amount of people are actually going to click your ad and thus be able to enroll in whatever boot camp that you have. So it's a terrible option. Okay, and not to mention, going back to this, in terms of the same Me Too acquisition strategy, this is what we're talking about. You're using the same Me Too acquisition strategy as hundreds of other boot camps. This applies as well to the types of funnels that you're using, to the type of offer that you're delivering. Okay, so if I click here, let me click and open this on this page. I'm going to click all of these ads for Best Coding Bootcamp, and I'm going to guarantee you that they're all offering the same exact thing, right? They're all saying, as soon as I click this landing page, it's going to be about me, right? They're going to say, hey, this is how you can become a web developer in 12 weeks. Learn how to become a web developer in 12 weeks. Sign up for my bootcamp. They're going to say, hey, we get you a job at Google or Microsoft or Facebook. They're all promising the same thing. All you have to do is say something different, something better. And another thing that I want you to notice when I click on these, it's all about them. It's all me focused copy. Look at how cool we are. Look at how great our teachers are. Look at what we've done. Look at us. Look at me. This is about me. Where in reality, good copywriting and good advertising and good acquisition strategies, which are built upon good copywriting and good advertising, is about them. It's about the student. It's about the transformation that they're making in their life. It's about helping them through whatever crappy situation that they're in their life right now, the debt that they're in, the job that they hate that has no future for them, the people around them that don't respect them because they don't have the right degree. They don't have the job at the tech company that everyone seems to respect and admire. That's what people care about. That's what drives and motivates the students that are enrolling in your program. It's not full stack coding boot camp. Speak to what they need, not to the features and benefits. That's just rookie level copywriting. That's not good, okay? So as I take a look at this, I'm going to show you exactly what I've just told you. It's all about me. And General Assembly is a little bit better than the vast majority of other competitors, which they should be because they have hundreds of millions of dollars in resources, but still it's not as best as it could be, okay? Because they're offering the same exact thing. When we click, we're going to a landing page that's asking students to immediately apply now and request a syllabus. And if you see here, everybody is saying, apply now, apply now. Get your brochure. No one wants a freaking brochure. No one wants to start an application right now. And the reason being is because that's just like me going up to some random girl I just met on the street and saying, hey, will you please marry me? Students are making a $10,000 to $20,000 investment. They're investing the next year of their life. They're not going to do that by clicking on an ad or clicking on a landing page with a whole bunch of logos on it while you sort of throw everything that you can at them about how great you are. Okay, that's not how that happens. All right? So there's a far more effective strategy and effective way to do this, and we're already at the 12-minute mark, and I'm not going to be able to dive into the depths of this, but I really want to get to what I want to get to and to sort of show you something about let's talk about this. To show you a better way of doing this, right? So let's Mercedes-Benz. Okay, and we'll write Mercedes-Benz ads. Okay, and this is something that I want to get you to understand. And you might want to share this with your chief marketing officer, or if you are the chief marketing officer of your company, this is something that you definitely want to pay attention to because it's going to help you to understand the types of marketing that you need to incorporate inside of your business. Okay, so the differences between the two. A Mercedes-Benz starts off at what, like $40,000, right? $40,000 for a Mercedes-Benz. You as well, you're selling a $10,000 to $20,000 product, okay? When you sell products that cost $20,000, you don't focus on features and benefits. Features and benefits are for selling like Bluetooth speakers or cell phones if you're Samsung or somebody, right? It's not for selling $20,000 purchasing decisions. What you're selling is a life transformation. You are literally selling someone a future that they can believe in. You're selling someone the opportunity to financially empower themselves, meaning someone that's making $25,000 per year can decide to enroll in your program and learn a skill set that can take their life. It's a ticket to the middle class, right? It's a ticket to being debt-free, to paying off their student loans. It's a ticket from worry, right? From worrying about how they're going to pay the bills. It's a ticket to be able to take their family and move in a better neighborhood for their child, live in a better school district, right? It's a ticket to giving someone meaningful work, right? That they can be proud of, to tell their family and their friends that I'm a software developer, or I'm a UX designer, or I am a sales rep at a software as a service company, or whatever your bootcamp offers. You're selling a life transformation, okay? That is what you need to do. And if you look at this, I can't really click on any of these advertisements for the sake of copyright infringement, but I can sort of tell you what is inside of a Mercedes-Benz ad, okay? So think about how Mercedes-Benz or Audi or BMW sells their products, right? They sell their products by creating desire, by painting a future for you that you can be happy to have, painting a future for you that you can actually buy. You're buying a future, right? Their advertisements paint a subconscious emotional message that's planted into your brain. It speaks to you on a very base level, okay? And it does it in a very, I don't want to say subversive, but it does it in a very, it does it in a way in which it's not obvious, right? It's not obvious what they're doing because the ad seems so simple. You see a guy driving down a highway or talking to his wife or something like that, and he hands her the keys to her Mercedes-Benz, and you see a smile of contentment on their face, okay? Mercedes-Benz and other top advertisers, people that sell $70,000 products like you should be, they're not talking about, we have 22-inch reels and anti-lock brakes. And they're not talking about their 0 to 60 times. They're not talking about features and benefits. They're not talking about the seats are really warm. You know, the warmest, our seats get to 97 degrees, okay? Or buy a Mercedes-Benz in 12 weeks. You know, this is the type of marketing that every single coding bootcamp is using. And yeah, so that's what I want to get you to understand is that you're selling a future that someone can be happy about and not a 12-week coding bootcamp. Right? You're selling someone a life, right? A dream that they can be happy about. And it's not in a manipulative way because that's really what you provide. If you have a 92% placement rate, you transform lives. You don't sell 12-week coding boot camps, okay? So you need to do a better job of selling the dream and not, the wheels, right? You need to, like Mercedes-Benz is selling. So I've talked too much about this point, but let's dive into the next point and make this a little bit quicker. The third thing is you're competing on AdWords. So the companies that I do see that do have a paid acquisition strategy, they're typically trying to compete on AdWords. And a lot of companies try AdWords and they fail on AdWords. They spend a bunch of money and they end up stopping. And the reason being is because I wouldn't even attempt to compete on AdWords unless you have a team of phenomenal marketers, right, who create phenomenal ad copy, which is not this, right? If you have a phenomenal acquisition strategy and funnel, that's not, apply for my bootcamp right now off the bat. You need to have a more creative strategy if you want to compete on AdWords, and most 99% of coding bootcamps don't have that. The reason being is because you can get quality clicks and traffic and interested, qualified applicants, talented people from Facebook and YouTube for literally 1/10 of the price per click that you can get on AdWords. So you have to really be dialed in deeply and clearly in order to be able to compete on AdWords. You have to be world class, or you have to be like these companies, which are $100 million, billion-dollar brands. Washington University probably has $1 billion endowment. So does MIT. They've got deep pockets that they can just throw at problems, okay? You don't have that. You have limited budget, limited resources, so you can't compete at this level. So you need to do something a little bit more strategic and a little bit smarter with your money, your time, okay? So yeah, and especially since March, since what happened in March, I'm not going to name the name of the event, okay? There's been a flood of competition in AdWords. As you can see, even I would say a year ago, they're putting 4 advertisements in the top searches for a lot of key terms. And the reason that they do this is because there are so many new competitors trying to place advertisements on Google's platform. And this is how they make money. They're taking advantage of the flood and the surge of new people trying to compete for these search terms. Thus, the prices are going up and 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 up. So unless you are damn good, do not play in this arena, okay? Because you don't have the skills. So, or also you don't have the deep pockets. That's the other thing. They don't really have the skills either, but they also have deep, deep, deep pockets, and it really doesn't matter to them, but it matters to you. So the fourth thing is your cost to acquire a student is too high. So do you know your customer acquisition cost, or your cost per acquisition, as some other marketers say? I've found through my research that the average customer acquisition cost is around $4,000 to acquire a new student. So imagine if a student is worth for you $10,000. A $4,000 cost per acquisition doesn't sound terrible, but when you factor in all the other hidden costs, It's kind of ridiculous, right? Because I have experience acquiring customers at a fraction of that price within this niche, in this category. It's possible when you know what you're doing. But most companies, quite frankly, and I know I sound arrogant as hell, but the fact is most companies just don't know how to acquire customers on the internet. So yeah, that's a ridiculous acquisition cost, and you can get those costs much, much lower, a fraction of those costs when you understand what you're doing. Okay, so also I think a thing that I want to leave you with is that understanding your customer acquisition cost is important if you're currently trying to purchase traffic, because once you understand your acquisition costs and you get it dialed in, you can essentially just purchase new students at will. So the result of all of this, the result of what we've been talking about, which was what? Let's list those out. You don't have a paid acquisition strategy. You're relying upon SEO. Number two is you're using the same Me Too acquisition strategy as literally hundreds of other boot camps, right? You're saying the same thing as everybody else. Become a web developer in 12 weeks. We, me. We've placed the most. We get our students hired at Facebook. We do this. Our award-winning curriculum. It's about me. When the reality is, great marketers, world-class marketers, like people who are marketing for Mercedes-Benz and other companies that sell things that cost tens of thousands of dollars, they understand something that most boot camps do not, is you're selling a future. You're not selling features and benefits. You're not selling we have the best program or we're rated the best. You're selling a dream. You're selling someone freedom from student loan debt, freedom from being able to get skills where they can work remotely and survive in the new reality of this world. You're selling them opportunities to put their family, to put their daughter in a better school, right? To give them the resources so that they can provide for their family and be respected amongst their spouse, right? You're selling them respect in terms of their friend circle, to being able to say, I have a job in technology. I've made something of myself. That's more of the emotion, more of the future that needs to be incorporated inside of your marketing. And the vast majority of companies, I don't know of any company that's doing anything like that. Okay. So what we talked about that. Also, you're competing on AdWords. It's just not the game for you unless you have world-class marketers on your team, which you probably don't, because I would see you in these results if you did. And yeah, it's just much, much more effective to use your ad spend to try to acquire customers, to effectively acquire customers on Facebook and YouTube, because you can acquire them for a fraction of the cost that you can on AdWords, okay? The last thing is your customer acquisition cost is too high. If you're spending $4,000, especially when you factor in the fact that you have to calculate, when you're calculating an acquisition cost, you have to factor in the overhead for acquiring those customers as well. For whatever your inside sales team, however inside sales reps you have, their benefits and everything, the marketers that you have to factor in their salaries for your acquisition costs. If you're paying anywhere around $4,000, you're paying way, way, way too much, okay? Way too much. So that's really it, okay? If you're interested in understanding how you can, number one, dramatically lower your acquisition costs and implement a strategy for your company where you can profitably and predictably acquire new students on a monthly basis with predictability. If you want to acquire 5, 10, 20, 30 plus new students per month, profitably, meaning it's cash flow positive, meaning you spend $1 today and you make back $2 within a few days, so that you can have the funds to be able to scale up your advertising and grow your enrollments, then I have a workshop that you need to see. Okay, if you click on this link, okay, there should be a link below this video, or you can type in the URL, softwaresensei.org. And I need to type it in here because this is a messy URL. softwaresensei.org/li-workshop. And I will make sure to put this in the description if you're watching this on LinkedIn, or if you're watching this on YouTube, it will be linked below in the description. Type in this URL, you'll land upon this page where I have put together a free training for you that outlines the details of this strategy that I'm talking about, of how you can create a scalable enrollment strategy for your coding bootcamp and get yourself, like I said, 5, 10, 20, 30 talented new students coming into your boot camp in a profitable manner through acquisition online every single month, okay, with predictability. So if you're interested in that, and if you're interested in growing from the 100, 200 student mark per year to the 400 plus student per mark and beyond, this video is something that you need to watch, and it's not optional, okay? This is the most important thing for your business. What is more important than getting more students and making more revenue for your business? There's nothing more important. So click the link below and watch that. If you have any questions, feel free to PM me on LinkedIn. Send me a personal message. I know you might not want your details within the comments because other CEOs are also watching this. So send me a personal message with any questions that you have or any suggestions that you have for future content that I can create for you or your marketing team. And yeah, that'll be it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go to softwaresensei.org/li-workshop, this URL right here, and register for this workshop. It's about a 30-minute video, and I know that's kind of a long time, especially now in the age of TikTok and Twitter and all of that, but you really can't condense the type of information that I'm sharing with you in this video into something that's short and sweet. It's something that is well worth your time if you're interested in making money, increasing revenue, growing your company. It's not something that I can tell you in 5 minutes, okay? So watch the training. It's well worth your time. And yeah, shoot me a message if you're looking for something specific, and I'll be happy to speak on that. All right? I'll talk to you later. My name is Robert Stevenson from Software Sensei, and I'll see you later. Peace.